The two protagonists of the book, for the most part, are Hank Paulson and Dick Fuld. And some people who've read the book consider those to be the white and black hats. I don't think about it exactly that way, but I'll explain in a second. When I started this project, I thought of Hank Paulson, frankly, in a very two-dimensional manner. I didn't actually think he was going to be a great character for a book. Just didn't strike me as somebody who was all that interesting. But I have to tell you, he becomes a sort of very three-dimensional character, very layered, very deep. And some of the anecdotes, and there's an early anecdote that actually has nothing to do with anything, except that it's so telling about sort of how he operates, which is he's at his home one Sunday afternoon with the staff and treasury, and they're going over some things. This is very early in his time in office, and his wife Wendy comes in and says, would you guys like some water? And Hank, who's so directed, he's one of these people who's just so focused he can't think straight about anything, and sort of, I don't want to say he doesn't have social manners, but he's just not, when he's focused, says to his wife, no, they don't want any water. And she, not really caring what he thinks sometimes, turned around and came back, of course, a half hour later with water. And she places the water around, and nobody dared to drink the water. And I thought it actually was a very telling anecdote in a way, because it actually was the way he ran Treasury and sort of the way he operated with everything. He was so focused. When he was in the moment, he was in the moment. And he's somebody who I would hope the readers, the other thing, the goal of this book in a way was to take another sort of movie metaphor. Quentin Tarantino always likes to say that he wants every person who leaves the movie to think they saw their own movie. And so my goal really with the book was the same. And I hope that actually, to the extent you have the opportunity to read the book, that you actually come away with your own view of what these people do or did. And by the way, there are things they do that are terrific and things they do that are quite awful. Dick Fuld is a different type of character. A lot of people have villainized him in the press as this greedy CEO who, let the company, former head of Lehman Brothers who let the company go. I think of him much more so as sort of this tragic figure, frankly, out of a sort of Shakespeare play. Very complicated guy who had this, I don't want to say bizarre, he had this love affair with the firm. He had been there for 30 years. He was obsessed with it. He wanted to preserve it in his own way. He wanted to preserve his legacy as well. I would not suggest to you, and I think if you get a chance to read it, that greed was not what was actually pressing him. He's interesting in that, now we talk about compensation rules and how much money people should have and whether they should have more stock so they have more, quote, skin in the game. He's actually the grand paradox in the compensation debate today, which is that he had $1 billion worth of stock in the company and wrote it all the way down to $65,000. And so it really actually, in a way, does raise the question of if when you have skin in the game, how much that actually matters. And money is an interesting component because part of the book is about Wall Street culture too. And money in an odd way, I think about greed a lot, and we talk a lot about greed in our society. And clearly, by the way, I think Wall Street is about making money. That is the business. It's the people. What is the business of Wall Street? It is to make money. Teachers teach, doctors save lives, and people on Wall Street make money. That's what it is. And I'm not going to pass judgment on that, but that's the game. But the larger point, I think, is actually that for many of these people, it's a power game. The money actually has virtually nothing to do with it. There's a lot of ego. It's all the ego, it's all the ethos, it's all of the hubris, and it's really all, the money almost is just a way to keep score more than anything else. And that's something that I found remarkable. I also think, for me that was surprising is I think of a lot of these people, when I started this project, a lot of these people flying on private planes and live in this bubble. And also that in government, we would think that these officials knew exactly what they were doing at all times and had plans for everything. But in the end, they're really as fallible as anybody else. And there's a scene where you'll see Dick Fuld cry with his wife at home one night. There's a scene where you'll see Hank Paulson throw up, sort of simply, literally vomiting in his office, sort of from the emotional turmoil of what is happening. And you realize that for better or worse, you know, they're actually not that different than anybody else. I got on a JetBlue plane yesterday to come here, and you hope that the pilot is infallible, right? You hope that they've had a lot of sleep and that they know exactly what's going on. And unfortunately, they probably had to deal with the babysitter before and 20 other things after. And these people are dealing with the exact same issue.